Hello everyone, hope you're having a great time. Welcome to my channel, Brent Justice. I am your host, Brent Justice, and today I have another 10-minute review of a Star Trek Picard episode. This is number 4, called Absolute Candor. So this is my 10-minute review. Let's get started because I really have a lot to talk about, and I always go over 10 minutes on these things. Again, spoilers. That is your warning. There will be spoilers. So here's my initial thoughts on this episode. Once again, I have to talk about the pacing. It seems the series has been on this downhill decline each episode on the pacing. This was another slow episode. Now, while slow can be okay, it's really just the pacing. We didn't really accomplish a lot in this episode. The entire episode was once again a setup episode, and we just had a setup episode in the last episode. But in this one, we got even less done. Basically, the entire episode was about recruiting another ship crew member. Sure, it had a past with Picard, and that was good that they showed that, and I loved it, and it's great. But really, all that was accomplished was that we brought a new crew member on board. It was a purely setup episode. And the reason why I'm harping on that is because this season, season 1, is only 10 episodes long. And we're here now on number 4 out of 10. So for 4 episodes, we've had slow pacing and pure setup. And if they spend this much time on one episode out of 10 to set up just one character, well, he better be very important. It makes me worried, though, that they won't have time this season to get everything done. It could be a quick, fast ending, a rushed ending. And it doesn't have to be. Unless, and here's a theory, maybe season 1 is just all a setup season. Maybe that's all season 1 is setup. I don't know. But just think about that, because we are 4 out of 10 episodes now. It is a short season. Okay? Now, let's go on to one of the first things of this episode that did disturb me, and I'm sorry I have to bring this up again, but it's important, and I actually have a reason for bringing it up based on dialogue in this actual episode. But we get the opening shot of the Romulan colony, right? Well, yes, you guessed it. I'm going to talk about it. We see nothing but Discovery shuttles in this shot, and even on the planet shot when Picard beams down. And once again, it makes no sense to me. I didn't see one single Romulan shuttle, or even any other alien types of shuttles. It was purely Discovery shuttles, and this is a Romulan colony. This being set in the late 24th century just makes no sense. We should be either seeing current generation Federation shuttles or Romulan shuttles, which would make a lot of sense, or other aliens since it's a big hub, right? Think about this. This is some dialogue from this episode. Rios says in the holodeck that a smuggler, I forgot the smuggler's name, Cathar or something like that, he's gotten a hold of a, quote, ancient Romulan bird of prey. Now, this Romulan bird of prey that he calls ancient is a TOS, the original series era bird of prey. And he calls that ancient, okay? So then what does that make the Discovery shuttles? Because they are pre-TOS. They take place before Kirk's time, before that era of Romulan bird of prey. They take place at a time that's not even it's even older than the TOS shuttle design. So what would you call these Discovery shuttles, right? They would be even more than ancient. They should definitely be ancient. They should be completely out of place and rare. Seeing one should be like, whoa, that's an ancient shuttle. That's rare to see. Yet, they are everywhere in Picard and used for everything. You get what I'm saying? That makes no sense. Moving on. Once again, we do have some cursing words here, some very harsh cursing words right at the beginning. It just doesn't seem normal for Star Trek to me. It takes me out of the show, and I simply don't like it. They seem to be consistently having to put a couple in there each episode. It's a trend at this point. I'm just not into it. That's all I'll say. I did like the episode for what it showed us about Picard's past. The moment he got the news about it showed the moment that he got the news about the synth uprising. That was cool. I enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the Romulan colony world and the atmosphere that they've created on it in both the past and the present. It gives us more information about the Romulans. We learn a lot about them and their culture, and this is very interesting. This is interesting stuff to me, and I love it. They really did a good job setting up this colony world. And I actually like this idea about absolute candor. By the way, Divergent, anyone? That's what I thought when I heard candor. But this idea of not filtering what you're thinking and feeling and telling everyone, it's completely opposite of the Vulcans. And even the majority of Romulans, who are very secretive. Remember, the Romulans are a very secretive race. They hide things. So this idea of not filtering yourself is even alien to the Romulans, but even more so the Vulcans, 100% opposite of Vulcans. And it's a unique take on what separates these Romulans from Vulcans as well as even normal Romulans. And I just love that kind of stuff. I think it's a great idea. And if you're going to be some kind of, person that binds themselves to someone and goes on this cause, that you would, want to be like that. I love that. This is good stuff. This is good mythology and culture and world building. World building is something that's very important in a show. And they're actually doing a good job of world building. Let's see. By the way, I love the music. When Picard beams down onto the colony planet about midway in the episode, the music that's playing, it almost feels like the series Firefly. It's got that kind of music in the show, and boy, that really drew me into it. I loved that. Okay. Let's move on to Raffi. I'm not into her. Still not. I don't like her at all. What can I say? I'm just on that level where I could even say I hate her. I just don't like her character at all. I haven't found anything to like about Raffi, period. Also, I did find one little quick blooper or mistake. When Picard pauses the holodeck, you see the birds outside of the window freeze. However, the fireplace in his room is not frozen. The flames are still dancing around. So that's inconsistent, and it's a little bit of a mistake, but the fans will notice that and pick that out. When you freeze a holodeck, everything should freeze, but it doesn't. So there you go. By the way, I love the black uniform jacket that Picard wears when he goes down to the ground. That thing rocks. I actually want one of those black jackets myself. I would love to wear that personally. That is really cool looking to me. Let's go to some cube stuff. I like that we learn more about what's happening on the cube. We get a lot of info about Narek and that he's watching Soji. His kind are meant to hunt synthetics and AI is what I'm guessing. He knows what she is, but doesn't want to push her too far because there are more of them and he doesn't know where she came from and where they are. He's trying to find out more info, but he doesn't know everything. He's trying to figure it all out too. We even learn that she was sent to the cube for a reason, but we don't know what yet. So that's all good stuff. We're getting much more background now on what he knows as far as her character, and the fact that she was sent there for a reason. He's watching her. He hunts synthetics or whatever, and he's studying her and trying to find out if there's more and where she came from. So he must not know she came from Bruce Maddox. That's interesting to me. But just the fact that there is this group of Romulans that hunt synthetics and AIs or whatever, that's interesting too. So let's see. That's all good stuff. Am I not the only one that's getting a Cruel Intentions vibe between Narek and his sister? I think her name is Narissa Rizzo. Are they real brother and sister, or is that just a name or title? At any rate, I certainly find it an interesting take, and I will give the show kudos for being adventurous and going there. And you have to imagine that in a different culture, a different alien world, maybe things aren't as taboo. Things would be different in a different culture, a different world. I don't know. Things, people operate differently, and things are more or less accepted differently in different cultures and aliens. If we meet aliens in real life, that may be common for them. So we don't know. So you have to have an open mind about that. But yeah, a Cruel Intentions vibe there. So anyway, they're being adventurous, and I like that. So let's all be clear here. The 7 of 9 entrance at the end was incredible. Best thing out of this episode. I don't know what ship she was in. It kind of looked like a newer or more sleeker or more advanced Delta Flyer. But then it got destroyed. So that sucks. But her beam in and entrance was iconic. She looks good, and they got her Borg implants perfect. I cannot wait to see where this goes with her now, because they really did a good job introducing 7 of 9. I'm intrigued. I'm pulled in. So overall, on the second watch of this episode, I appreciated it more than the first watch. I just feel the pacing is a bit slow at times, but otherwise, I really did enjoy the episode, and I also give it an A. So far, this series is really strong for me. It's a lot better than Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. In fact, this whole series is better than Discovery so far. This is a step up for sure. So I look forward to seeing where this goes in the next episode of Star Trek Picard. Again, I will probably do a more detailed analysis later on. I'm probably going to break down each episode in the future, where I talk a lot more, because as you can tell, I go over 10 minutes because I got so much to say. There's stuff I left out that I could talk about here. But overall, my thoughts and review on this episode is slow paced, but still interesting, intriguing. We're learning new things, and I enjoyed the episode. I did enjoy watching it, especially the second time. I enjoyed it watching the second time more than the first time. There you go. Let's see what happens in the next episode of Star Trek Picard. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Check out Twitter at Brent_Justice for updates. You can follow me there. Also, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Brent Justice. This helps support the channel and also allows me to publish more and more videos.